It's about looking within you for the change that's needed. Taking an honest look at what's going on inside of you. The hardest thing for anyone to face in this world is the truth about themselves. Hey guys, I'm life coach Rob Lopicola. I specialize in behavioral health and sex addiction recovery coaching. And today, I wanted to talk with you about the idea of change and transformation. Are you at a place in your life where you desperately need to change your life? Are you at a point in your life where you just can't find the happiness, the peace and serenity? Or if you're struggling with sex addiction or any addiction, you just simply are unable to find freedom from your addiction. You have tried over and over and over again to change your life, to go from a life of addiction to sobriety, a life of chaos to peace and serenity, a life of inferiority to confidence, a life where you are struggling to make ends meet to a life of financial prosperity. Have you been having difficulty transforming from where you have been struggling to peace and serenity in all areas? And if that is you, and you are seeking change and transformation, I get it, and I totally understand. I was at a place many years ago where I had nothing. I had no money. I didn't have a home. In fact, I was homeless. I was struggling with addiction to methamphetamine, to alcohol, compulsive sexual behavior. I went from a life of peace and serenity, seemingly in a prosperous career and fitness modeling, to a life of devastation, a life of losing everything into bankruptcy, and ultimately going to prison, and then rebuilding from all of that, rebuilding from rock bottom. So I know exactly what it's like to battle with inferiority and addiction and unhappiness, and how to come out of a place of utter rock bottom and climbing to being rock solid. I know how to get you there. But do you find that this is what you want? You want to go from where you are now at a place of rock bottom to a place of feeling and being and living rock solid. Well, it's interesting because ultimately what I've discovered and what I want to help you clearly understand, it's not about change. And it certainly is not about transformation. Now, we use the word transformation so we understand what we mean. We're transforming from point A to point Z. All the steps in between the alphabet, if you will, to get to Z, where you want to be. That transformation is not necessarily really about change and transformation. It is about a rebirth. It's about being born again, if you will, not the biblical religious terminology of being born again, but in essence, it's about being born again, born into a new person. See, we don't want to change and transform old destructive habits to healthy constructive habits. We actually want to eliminate, we want to delete, if you will, the old destructive habits. We don't want to change them. We want to get rid of them. We ultimately want the old version of who we are to die. And we want a new version of who we dream to be born. See, we don't want to change those behaviors. We actually want to delete them and create new ones. And that's what, in essence, transformation is really about. We're changing nothing. We're becoming new. And if you are living a life where you're unfulfilled, unsatisfied, in addiction, feeling inferior, self-loathing, wearing masks everywhere you go, a terribly negative, deprecating internal dialogue, feeling insecure and vulnerable when you're out in public, you tend to isolate, you tend to get in your own head and create stories that bring stress, anxiety, loneliness, and failure your way. Well, if you've been struggling to get out of that and transform into a life that is full, a life where you're confident, successful, and all those things that you dream about, Well, I don't want you to change anything. I want you to delete and eliminate where you are now. To eliminate the way you think. Eliminate your beliefs. We need to, in essence, change everything. That's what my coach taught me when I was at my rock bottom. He says, you need to change one thing. And boy, did that sound easy until he said that one thing's everything. And if you really want to change your life, you have to change, again, you too, that one thing, everything. Your beliefs, your perceptions, your internal dialogue, the way you see yourself, the world, other people, the way you see your past. If you change the way you look at a thing, the thing you're looking at will change. And I love that. And that's from Wayne Dyer. He was phenomenal in his mindset changing techniques. And one of those was changing the way you look at a thing. See, if you change the way you look at yourself, the you you're looking at will change. If you change the way you look at your past, the past you're looking at will change. But that change has to come, and we'll use the word change loosely, because really what we mean is the death of the old person and the birth of a new one. But we'll use change and transformation to simplify it. What you need to provide this change and transformation is to look within. It's about looking within you for the change that's needed. Taking an honest look at what's going on inside of you. The hardest thing for anyone to face in this world is the truth about themselves. And until you can face the truth about you, you're not ready for change. You're only ready when you have exhausted all avenues, at least in your own mind, you've exhausted all avenues of changing on your own, without help, without new strategies, without new ideas, without a coach or a counselor or a therapist or a sponsor, whatever it is for you. When you get to the point of total exhaustion, that you simply, on your own, with your own way of thinking, your own mindset that you have now, you're unable to change. When you are ready to change, when you're ready for a new life, you must feel that you have exhausted all avenues on your own. You receive what many addicts call the gift of desperation. You get to a point of total desperation when you realize that change and transformation and a rebirth is needed now, and you're willing to do anything to get it. You must be willing to do anything for your life to change. And if you're not ready, you're not ready. If you're not willing to do anything, you're not ready. The average age, studies have shown over and over again, the average age for a man to change and transform his life from addiction or negative internal dialogue or a life of unhappiness is between the ages of 35 and 45. Typically, within a few years of 40, most men introspect and self-reflect to the point that they are now open-minded and willing to make significant changes in their lives. For women, the age is generally between 30 and 40. The average age, hence between male and female, the average age, according to many, many studies, is 38 years old. That's the age when most people begin to change and transform their lives. In fact, many addicts, meth addicts, sex addicts, alcoholics, gambling addicts, they generally find that they're ready for change in the late 30s and early 40s. Many addicts in their 20s have yet to continue down the road of addiction before they get to the point where they self-reflect and introspect enough, perhaps through loss. Many addicts, many people, anybody really that wants to change and transform their lives have to experience significant loss. We change through loss. The question is, how much do you have to lose to change? How much do you have to lose to be open-minded and willing to do what it takes to change? And when you're ready for the old self to die and the new self to be born, for all of your dreams to be fulfilled, you must be ready to truly and honestly look within. And there's a story that I love about the idea of how to truly change and transform where to look. Now imagine, if you will, that there's a guy in a house holding a set of car keys and the electric goes out. It's pitch black in the house and he drops his car keys on the floor. It's pitch black. So he starts looking for the car keys, can't find them. But he looks outside the window and he sees that there's a light outside, the street light's on. So he decides to go outside where there's light and look for his keys. He looks for his keys where the light is. And a friend comes walking by and says, "What are you doing? What are you looking for?" He says, "I'm looking for my keys." So now the friend helps him look for his keys. And they're looking for his keys and they can't find the keys. So the friend says, "Well, where did you drop your keys?" The guy says, "I dropped them in the house. But it's pitch black in there. I can't see them, so I'm looking out here." The moral of the story is, if you want to solve the problem you have in your life, don't go outside and look for it. You have to look for it within. You have to look for it within yourself. And when you're ready to face the truth about yourself, the truth about where you're at, if you take a look at your life, you take a look at all the drama, the chaos, the addictions, the loss, the inferiority, the failed relationships, maybe the failed jobs, or constantly getting in professional discipline at work, getting written up, or you're getting tickets because you're speeding. If you take a look at the chaos in your life, but you notice that there are other people who don't have this chaos. They're financially stable, professionally stable. They've never gotten a speeding ticket. They don't seem to have any unhappiness in their life. They're fairly stable. They have a long-term relationship that's working beautifully. You might find that the common denominator in your chaos is you. The common denominator may just be you. And that's very difficult for many people, to really take a look at themselves and say, "I'm the common denominator in all the drama and chaos." Somebody. Are you in a relationship where you are trying to change your partner? Or you're a parent and you're trying to change your child who is struggling with addiction? Or you're married to someone who is struggling with sex addiction and you're trying to fix them and change them? You're in a tumultuous situation where you want to have control, you want to fix, and you want to help change a person in your life. And what you're finding out, what you're discovering through all of your efforts, all of your energy, all of your time, you have not been able to succeed. They continue going back to those old behaviors that you're trying to change. They keep going back to that old way of thinking and functioning and living, those old habits, regardless of all of your help and attempts, all of your saving techniques to figure it out for them. You're coming to the conclusion that it's never going to happen. You will come to terms eventually, and hopefully before your life is destroyed, that you don't have the power to fix nor cure another individual if they are not ready to be fixed and cured. If someone is not really ready to make the needed changes in their life, you will not be able to provide it for them. In fact, if you continue down the road of helping or trying to fix them, figuring out how to solve all their problems, and they're stuck in a new problem over and over, repeatedly, there's more problems, more drama in their lives, and you continue over and over, repeatedly, trying to fix those problems that the other person's having, whether it's your child or your friend or your partner, it gets exhausting. And your life will begin to come down. Your life will begin to fall apart. I want to share a story with you. There's a whole bunch of guys on a cruise, a whole bunch of people on a cruise. And one guy falls off the boat and he's drowning in the water, thrashing about, screaming, yelling, kicking his arms and feet. Well, there's a guy on board who's a lifeguard, and he knows how to save someone clearly from drowning. But he's just watching as the individual is flailing about in the water. Well, the lifeguard's friend comes over and says, "Why aren't you jumping down there to save him?" So the lifeguard says, just hold on a minute. And they're watching. And he's thrashing about, screaming, flailing his arms around his feet, panicking, hysterical. And the friend is getting aggravated. "Well, why don't you jump down there and save the guy?" And the lifeguard goes, "Hold on a minute." Well, after a few minutes, the guy that's in the water that's drowning is exhausted. He's not flailing about anymore. He's not with his arms all over the place, kicking and screaming. In fact, he's literally exhausted and beginning to drown. Now the lifeguard jumps in, and the lifeguard rescues this drowning individual. So when they're back on the boat, the friend says, "What the heck did you wait till he was drowning for?" And the lifeguard said, "Because if I went to help him when he was flailing about in hysterics, he'll just take me down with him. I had to wait until he was exhausted and ready." You must wait. When someone is struggling in addiction or in chaos or in constant drama and pain that they're creating in their lives, you have to watch and wait until they're exhausted, until they are so desperate that they are finally willing to do what it takes. Then, and only then, will you be able to help them. This is a concept that has existed forever, and it will never, ever change. You cannot save somebody until they're ready to be saved. And remember something, the 3 C's comes from Al-Anon, and I love these 3 C's. When you feel responsible for a parent or a child or a sibling or your partner, remember these 3 C's when you want to fix them and you want to solve their problems and you want to save them. You did not cause it. You cannot control it, and you certainly cannot cure it. My name is Rob Lopicola. I'm a life coach, and I'm also a former meth addict, sex addict, and alcoholic. And until I was ready, until I was desperate, until I was exhausted, until I was literally drowning my life away, only then was I ready to change and transform, regardless of my employers, my friends, my family, my coaches. I had to get to the point of desperation. And that's when I was ready. When you're ready to take a look at yourself and you're ready to take a deep look at where you're at now, and if you're the common denominator and you're willing to do whatever it takes to change, you're ready. Then you're ready. And if you're ready, you must look within. And you need help. You need a coach, a counselor, a therapist, a sponsor. You need somebody to help you change how you're thinking. Because the mindset you have now that brought you here is not the same mindset that can fix you. The mindset that brought the challenges and problems in your life is not the mindset that can fix them. It's impossible. That mindset you have now cannot construct a new design for living. That mindset cannot construct a new creation to live by. It could think about it. It can create wishes of where you want to be in life. And keep in mind, if you have a goal and you don't have the strategies to achieve that goal, it's only a wish. And many people wish their life away. Do you want to wish your life away? Or do you want to make goals? And do you want the strategies to achieve those goals? Well, you need somebody to help you create new strategies. In essence, to create a new mindset. Because after all, there is only one thing you need to change. Not just you, it's your mindset. And you have to be ready. And if you're not ready, no coach, no therapist, no counselor, no sponsor can help you. If you're not ready, no one can help you. They can give you ideas, but you're not ready. They can give you strategies, you're not ready. You have to have enough pain. You have to have enough agony. You have to have enough misery for you to change and transform your life. When do you believe you'll be ready? Are you ready now? Are you 23 years old, 28 years old, 30? Are you ready? What do you need to lose a little more in your life? Do you need to lose more jobs? Do you need to lose more peace? Do you need to lose more sanity? Do you need to lose more relationships? Lose more joy? How much more do you have to lose for you to change and transform? For you to die in the old self and be born as a new self? If you're ready, I want to help you. If you're struggling with compulsive sexual behaviors or you have sex addiction, I offer you a free 30-minute strategy session. It's on my website, sexaddictionrelief.com. It's a 30-minute strategy session, 10 steps to help you begin healing from your sex addiction. If you're battling with other problems or challenges or difficulties, especially when it comes to how you think, how you perceive, and how you believe, I offer you a free coaching session. One free strategy coaching session to help you begin the process of changing how you think. I'll have the link below. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you got something out of this. I post a new video every Tuesday on my YouTube channel, so if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel right now. Leave a like button and hit the bell if you want to be notified every time a new video is posted. Thanks again for being here. I'll see you again next week.